Babe, part of the reason why your life feels so hard is because you don't know who you are. And I know you don't know who you are because people keep telling you who you are. People keep giving you a personality. They keep giving you an attitude. You have never had time to really sit down and figure out who you are, what you like, what makes you happy, what makes you sad, why you exist, what's your purpose, what is the calling that God have upon your life. You have never sat down to figure those things out for yourself because you are too busy chasing after trends. You are too busy trying to be what a celebrity told you are, and you are too busy trying to be the next aesthetic. And we as people have become so smart that what we do now is we dress it up. We are so misidentified that we don't know who we are. We think we know who we are, but we don't. Because if you knew who you were, you wouldn't be living the life that you're living right now. You would be more confident. You would be more bold. You would be more purposeful. You would go after things. You wouldn't have so much anxiety. You wouldn't have so much fear. You wouldn't feel so alone. Money wouldn't rule your life if you understood who you were. You would be living in your power and in your dominion right now. But because you don't know who you are, things are dominating you that you are supposed to be dominating. I think it's time that we go back to the drawing board and we start over and we start from the beginning. If you want to know who you are, babe, it starts with God. And I know you don't think this is important. Don't turn off the video because this is very important. Because your identity, you live your life from out of who you think you are. The decisions that you make, where you dress, where you go, the friends who you date, the risk that you are willing to take, it all comes from how you see yourself as a person. But it's okay because I used to live this way too until I found out that my degree didn't mean nothing. The money I had didn't mean nothing. The man that I was dating didn't mean nothing. None of those accolades meant anything about my identity. All it did was add to it. It added to it. But I was still complete without it. And I think that's another reason why a lot of African American women, we chase after so many accolades and so much success is because we think that it makes us who we are when in fact it does not. God did not create you to blend in with a feed. He created you to reflect his glory. You are a one of, if you understood Jesus, if you understood your identity in Christ, if you understood the authority, the power, the favor that came with you understanding simply who you are and walking with your head high, you would change the world. But the enemy does not want you to know who you are. That's why he keeps putting you in those wrong friend circles. That's why he keeps bringing those toxic men into your life. That's why he wants to cripple you with anxiety and depression and confusion, and you feel lonely and you feel lost and you feel misunderstood and you feel like your life doesn't matter because you don't know who you are to be able to speak against those things to break them off of you. You have been misidentified. The enemy has taken your identity and he don't want you to know that he stole it from you because you're living out of the one that he gave to you. Listen, identity is so important because there are certain blessings that come with identity. If I had $1 million in my bank account right now and I put my children as the beneficiaries of that, and I put their name on a piece of paper and I passed away and they walked into the bank or to the lawyer or whatever and they try to get that money, you know, the first thing they're going to ask for is identification because who are you? I need to make sure that your name aligns with this blessing. Oh my God. And the reason why some of y'all are dealing with some of the stuff that you're dealing with is because you're not in your right identity and you're claiming things that you don't even understand, that spirits are attached to some of the things that you're saying out of your mouth about yourself. You're dealing with unnecessary chaos. You're dealing with unnecessary spiritual warfare because you're trying to be something that you're not. But instead of you just getting in position and accepting who God has called you to be, that's why you feel like you're going crazy. That's why you feel like nothing is working for you. That's why you feel like your back is against the wall. That's why you feel like no matter what you do, you take 2 steps forward, you taking 4 steps back because you're not in a position, babe. You're not in the position. You're not in the identity that God has called you to walk in. You're trying to be everybody else. You're trying to be an aesthetic. I didn't call you to be no aesthetic. I didn't call you to be no trend. This is bigger than just social media. This is bigger than just a movement. I called you to be a kingdom builder. I called you to have an assignment. I called you to be a Esther. I called you to make a difference. I called you to shake foundations, babe. I called you to change the world, but you're so busy trying to be an aesthetic. And all you're doing is dressing up your foolishness. You're dressing up. You're playing dress up. That's exactly what you're doing. You're playing dress up as somebody that you're not. Y'all costume dressing. And then you think if you slap on a wig, or if you slap on some lipstick and some lashes and a little bit of makeup, then you think that that's gonna make you who you are. No, babe. We can see it. We can see the confusion. We can see the confusion. You're still not that girl because you're not who you're supposed to be. That's why. You really want to be that girl, then be who God called you to be. Be authentic to who he called you to be, and stop chasing off the trends. Stop chasing off the aesthetics. Sis, let me tell you something. Once you grasp the concept of who you are in Christ, once you understand what he did for you on that cross, oh my God. Once you understand what he meant in Psalms 8 when he said that I've crowned you in my glory and honor and do you know what that, I can't even break it down to you right now, but let me tell you something that you need to do. You need to be sure to follow my TikTok, because I'm going to be dropping many videos every day, and be sure to follow my YouTube page if you are not, because I will be dropping a mini series starting today on identity. All right, because this is very important. I can't have you walking around as somebody else's. There's too many people connected to you. You're not getting blessed because you're not who you are. And God don't bless who you pretend to be. He bless who you really are. You don't have to fake a lifestyle when God can give it to you for real. You just got to get in position. So listen, if this video resonated with you, if you felt what I was saying, if you understood what I was saying, I need you to follow my YouTube page, because I'm going to start dropping mini series on identity, and I promise it's going to change your life. So be sure to like, to comment, and to share, because I know that this can bless and help somebody else. All right? Peace.